Hello and welcome to Buckman's Model Mania. Today we're going to be working on the Moomin house, stage 28, and it is from DeAgostini. Here are the parts, and you can see there's a little bit of photo etch in there, so this could be a little bit tricky, especially because I didn't notice this before. There is not a line. That could suck bad. So let me get the magazine open. And we'll start working on this. And I know we're going to be painting some parts, so that's why that's out. So we've got the photo etch for the chandelier. Okay, yes. I don't know. Yeah, you can see very light lines there. That is extremely important because if you don't have those lines, photo etch is next to impossible to bend. Couple of ripples in it shouldn't be a big deal. One of the things you usually do with photo etch is you heat it with like a torch or something like that, so that it's called annealing it, so that it's easier to bend. We got the stairs. Well, easier to bend, plus it doesn't want to pop back into shape. Stairs, closure for the bottom of the stairs, and one really, really small wall lamp. Let me just see. I do not see that it's telling you to do anything with that wall lamp, so let me go ahead and put that away. And I'm going to put it in the same box that you should have seen in the last episode. This box, which I bought to keep. Actually, I think this used to be the Enterprise screw box, but put it in here with another lamp that I got a while ago. And I use that just to keep parts stored and safe. We go ahead and get rid of the plastic container that the parts came in. And we're going to start on the stairs. So the first thing you got to do, and I think I did this on the last video. If not, I'm going to do it here. I suggest if you're building any kind of models, you have some sort of a snipper to use as sprue cutters. You know, that way you can cut the parts off of the sprue or the plastic trees and not have to fight with them. Twisting off parts is just a cardinal sin when in modeling building. So each of the stairs ends up with a little bit of a nub there. And similar to the previous steps, they're all numbered on the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause the camera. I'm going to sand these down, and I'm going to sand all the edges. First, I'm going to sand all the edges, get the nubs off. I'm also going to sand the treads themselves so that the paint will adhere a little bit better. When I come back, I'll go ahead and paint these, just show you quick and easy. 4 stairs, it'll paint up real quick. Decided I'm going to leave the bottom side of the stairs where this part's going to go on here like this. I'm going to leave it at the original color, just the sides are going to have the paint on them. So let me pause the camera, take care of some sanding, and I will be right back. Okay, so I have all the stair treads cut off, sanded, and attached to the paint sticks. So I'm looking, where did I move that to? I just heard a whole bunch of guys from Hobby Time Modelers say, over there. Okay, so something like this, little paint tray, is highly recommended when you're doing things like this. And don't need a really big brush, but moderate size. And so you would, if you were to paint this, you would just put a few drops, because a little bit of this stuff goes a long way. close up the bottle. Make sure you shake it up and mix it. I did that already. And you just dab a little bit of paint on here, and it sticks on here really, really good. I mean, this is actually one of the first times I've used the Vallejo paints, and I am sold on them. I usually use craft paint, and those are a pain to get to adhere. This stuff sticks like nobody's business. I mean, you can see just one pass, and there it's actually coating really well. And it dries relatively quickly because it's such a thin coat. It also can be thinned for airbrushing. There's a slight spot there where it's not showing. And the brush marks on here, not really that visible. Those will disappear as it dries. Let me go ahead and do another one real quick. Then I'll pause, take care of the other ones, and we'll come back and do assembly. Like I said, really, really impressed with this paint. I mean, I have to say, compared to the craft paint, it's a bit expensive, but some of the craft paint is starting to get up there. You know, you usually spend like $2 for a bottle of craft paint, and yes, it is 2 ounces, and this is a very small jar. But if you're fighting with the craft paint to get it to even adhere to the plastic, then spending twice as much or 3 times as much for good paint is well worth it. And so there's the second stair. You see that one, brush marks are still there, but only way you see them is if you actually angle it. And let me see how this one, see this one here is almost dry already. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to pause the camera and I'll come back after I have these painted. I'm ready to go to assembly. Okay, so the stairs are all painted. They're drying right there. And you can see I didn't put very much on there, but huge amount of coverage. Set that off to the side. Unfortunately, that's wasted paint. I'm going to continue to let that dry. And the next thing I have to do is, and I'm going to skip over assembling the stairs until after I assemble the chandelier. Maybe the chandelier there could be enough paint in the chandelier that I decide to do it completely off screen. Ow! I just stabbed myself with a pair of tweezers. I'm looking for a knife that's got a good blade, because what they show here in the instructions, they show cutting the photo etch out on a cutting mat. You don't want to do that. You'll dent the photo etch. So you can see there's some very small spots where it is actually, you actually cut it from the metal. And I want to looks like, yeah, there's only the 2 spots here. So, and it's brass, so it cuts relatively easy. You set it on a piece of tile or something solid, piece of glass, something you have that is hard, and then just run your knife past it, and it'll come out pretty well. You may or may not end up with, little bitty nubs from the metal. And what you do is you sand that off very gently, not this way though. You do not want to go perpendicular to the photo etch, because what's going to happen then is you're going to end up bending it where you don't want it bent. You run it along the length of the piece until you're happy. Doesn't take a whole lot. Do the same thing on the other side until you're happy, and then there's your piece. You also want to make sure, because I've got B, B, A. You want to make sure you keep track of what pieces are which. I'm going to go ahead and get these two cut out. And once I get all the pieces cut out, I will actually pause the camera again because I want to see, I want to try bending one. Ah, that's why A is different. A does not have markings on it. So you actually have two different types of pieces. This is A. There are no markings, no mark for the fold mark line, and it's not the full length. So these are gonna, the two B's are gonna be down below, down with this, and create and form the rest of the chandelier. Let me get the last part out, which is C, and it is gonna, you can see there, that star looking piece there, that's where the other parts are gonna go into. If I was painting this, then I would, after the after putting the parts together, I would solder it, but I don't have any brass solder. My solder is all silver. It would be very apparent. And with these little leaf pieces, this one here, you can see a very tiny piece left over from where I cut it off. I'm not even going to try and sand that because those are so small, they're going to actually break if I do. Okay, place another square. Okay. Use double-sided tape along the edge, place. Oh, that's actually pretty nice what they're doing. Although, let me see. Okay, I'm about to fold these. I'll talk you through it after I come back. I'm not going to try and fold these on camera. It's just going to be a complete and total mess. They're using a square. I have some actual pliers. They're needle nose pliers. There are no grooves on here. These are for folding photo etch, among other things. So I'll be back once I get these folded together, and we'll move on from there. Okay, I used a multiple tools to do this. Thought I was going to be able to use this. This is from, I used this on Metal Earth. The details are too small. Same with this bender from, I forget who it's from. Oh, there it is, MARVELPHX. What I finally settled on was the pliers and very carefully bending it with my thumbnail. And you can see I've got them relatively good at about a 90-degree angle. This one's a little bit off. But once you get it that far, you've still got to go the rest of the way because it's supposed to be at about a 60-degree angle. Once you have it on the fold started, you should be able to very gently, very, very gently, because you don't want to flatten it. You should be able to use a pair of needle nose pliers to gently get it to about a 60-degree angle so that it'll fit in here. But that's not quite, I'm not quite to that step yet. Before that, you take this piece here and all the diamond shapes, you fold down. Just gently fold them to where they're hanging down at about a 90-degree angle. This is one of those detail pieces that if you were to do the build, you may or may not put in because it depends on how it looks when you're done. So a little bit of effort here, get them mostly hanging straight down. Kind of like that. And then they say to take a pair of, let's see. Okay. It says to take, hang on. Yeah, just twist the diamonds slightly to catch the light. So take a pair of tweezers and twist them just a hair. I'm going to do that with the camera paused again because I don't want to try and rush to get it done and not make a 2-hour video. So I'll be back once I've got that part straightened out or twisted. Okay, just going to stop in here for a second to show what I've managed to do. So we've got these all twisted, and this is folded far enough to where it will fit through. You have 3 V's on here. The longer line there, you can see kind of almost horizontal. That line is where the long piece will go, the part that does not get bent. You stick this piece, the other 2 pieces, through there like that. Very carefully. And you have to bend them to reach that. I'm not going to worry if the down here is exactly a 60-degree angle, but I'm going to get them as close as I can and then get this larger piece into the middle there and press on from there. You have to get them in there a certain amount. It doesn't really say how far. Oh, it says about 10 millimeters sticking out, because when you get done, you're going to be gluing this. You're going to put glue up here at the top and down there at the bottom to glue them all together. So let me go ahead and get these other 2 pieces in here, get it glued, and I will show you the result. Okay, managed to get it together, and it doesn't look too bad. And the last thing it asks you to do, there they are. It says to take the tweezers on the chandelier itself and twist them similar to what we did on the top. I guess you'd call it the crown. And I'm going to twist them opposite directions. There's 3 of them, so one's going to go right, one's going to go left. The key thing is you just make it the way you want to see it. And if you start on one, you got to go all the way around on and do them all. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up off camera. Then we're going to come back and we're going to finish up the stairs. So stay tuned. Okay, got the chandelier done. I'm sitting up here. And one thing I didn't point out is that I did use, to get the pieces to go down from a 90 to a 60-degree angle, I did use a pair of pliers with teeth in it, very carefully, never on the flat of the photo etch, just on the ends. So now let's get back to the stairs. First thing we do, and it says to apply glue. I don't think it needs glue. I think it'll be fine without glue. I mean, this is going to be a display model. Nobody's going to be playing with it. Got the pins. Well, let me show you. So we have 5 sockets down inside here. We have 5 pins, and they've got to line up. I'm looking down inside to get it. And the nature of flat plastic, once one of them lines up, they're all going to line up. And you got to press them in and up. Like that. Specifically where the pins are, because when you get done, you'll still have a seam, but it will flatten out pretty well. I did have some paint on this side. I just sanded it off. Next, you're going to take this part here. You got the 2 hexagonal sockets here, and you've got the pins, round pins here. You're going to just line them up, and hopefully they will go together, because I tried to just dry fit it before, and it's really, really stiff, so I decided I would just do the final assembly. And hopefully, like I didn't have to, no sanding involved, Might have to go back and do a little bit of touch-up paint because it's darker here than it is here. We'll have to see. Stairs go there like that. And then we take the parts by the numbers, 5 being the largest stair, and we push them in here like that, on up. Again, it says to glue them. I don't see any reason. There's not going to be anything that's going on these treads that's going to make them pop off. When we get to the railing, which is what these holes on the inside are for, then I might be doing some gluing. So let me get this last one on here. And like I said, if it's going to hold together on its own, I'm not going to glue it. Here's the chandelier. See if I can set it on here without it falling down the stairs, which doesn't look like that's going to happen. So we'll set it down here. And that is everything that there is to do in pack 28. Forgot what pack I was on. Did a little bit of super gluing on here. I think I forgot to mention that. I super glued up at the top, down at the bottom, twisted the diamonds. Once it's inside the house, you're not going to, it's going to look good. Only thing I wish I could do is actually put some lights on it. What I may do, since I am lighting it, I may find a way to put lights from either side using some real small SMDs to just kind of give it a light effect. Not sure. It depends on where it goes and how hard that is going to be to do. So like I said, that's it for stage 28. Hope you're enjoying this. I'm having a blast with this house. It takes a lot of time. These stages... This one took about an hour and a half just because of how complicated they are, but the end result is going to be well worth it. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified of whenever I post new videos. Come on over to Hobby Time Modelers on Facebook, YouTube, and Discord. See what we're doing. The links will be in the description. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow. Stay safe out there with the winter storms that are coming, and I will see you on the next video.